Hello everybody, Joe Domino here, your director of golf at Glen Eagles Country Club. I'm going to go over a little golf tip for us, and I want to, once again, we have Jake Gable, our head golf professional here. Jake, thanks for being with us today.
Absolutely, thank you.
We're out here on hole number 15, and what we're going to do is Jake's going to talk about hitting some shots out of the rough. Okay, we all know right about now the rough's a little thick. You got to get an idea on sometimes what to use and what not to use when you're hitting the ball out of the rough. We all know we do drive the ball in the fairway all the time, but in case you're over here into the rough, Jake's going to give you some good thoughts and some good tips on how to take care of this and get you down towards the green or on the green a little bit easier. Jake, go ahead.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. So first thing I do when I get to a ball, I miss the fairway, hit a good drive, miss the fairway. I'm going to assess the lie. Especially in this South Florida rough, it kind of grows into each other. So you could get a ball that kind of sits up on the top or kind of nestles down a little bit deeper into that rough. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm assessing the lie properly. The biggest key out of hitting out of the rough is our angle of attack. We must hit down into this golf ball. It is so important. If we come in too flat or too shallow, the leading edge of that club is going to catch this heavy grass, and we're just not going to be able to get that launch out of this heavier rough. So after assessing the lie, now I got to make my club selection.
Okay, let me just, I'm gonna, how I always butt in. On your angle of attack, when you're talking steeper, we're not talking like straight down, just really feeling yourself getting down more through the golf shot, right?
Yeah, so the club has to have a descending blow into the golf ball.
Right. That's
the main key. If I'm coming in too shallow, that club's grabbing into that thick rough, and I just can't get that launch out of this lie.
And they try to lift it, or
correct.
No, you're right. Keeping that angle.
Absolutely.
Is
if I'm trying to lift this ball out of the rough, I'm in a world of hurt.
Right.
So that descending blow into this golf ball allows me to get a golf ball first. So I'm not hitting that grass behind it, hitting that heavy shot, and I'm able to get a lot of grooves on this golf ball, which is extremely important. Some of the biggest things that I see out there, we got a longer shot into this hole, and they pull out the 5-wood or the 3-wood. And the amount of surface area you have on that club, it just makes it way too difficult to get this ball out of the rough. So the first thing I would suggest is either take that hybrid or a lofted iron to allow that loft to get this ball out of the rough. So that descending blow, proper club selection, and then execution, right?
And sometimes that it might not be the club that's going to get you to the green,
Correct.
Right?
Sometimes you got to take your medicine. It's maybe you catch an unfortunate break or hit a poor shot. You got to take your medicine. It
just keeps you in play.
It keeps you in play. Yeah. The worst thing you want to do is compound the mistake, right, Joe?
Yep. 100%.
So I'm not trying to pull out a 3-wood from this lie. Cold top it in the fairway bunker, and now what am I going to do?
100%.
So sometimes you have to take your medicine. Luckily enough, this lie isn't terrible. It is nestled down a little bit. So I do have a higher lofted iron. So my main keys when I'm executing the shot here is I'm going to choke down a little bit. It allows me to create a little bit more stability in the club. Okay. Number 2 is I'm going to have this ball position a little bit further back. This is what's going to allow me to really get that descending blow into the golf ball. And then number 3 is really trying to keep that face as stable as possible through impact. Again, this heavier rough can grab the heel or the toe, and I could turn that club, and now that shot's going to go any which direction. So allowing that club to stay really stable through impact is going to allow this ball to kind of stay more on our target line and create a little bit crisper contact out of the rough.
Cool, great.
Okay, so again, I'm going to pick my intermediate target like I do every shot. I'm going to get that ball position a little bit further back, really focusing on that descending blow and stabilizing that face through impact.
Great shot.
Thank you.
Now, you'll notice that even though the ball was sitting down in the rough a little bit, you see how much that baby had plenty of height on that thing.
Absolutely. That angle of attack, folks. That descending blow, that's what allows that golf ball to launch up into the air, especially out of these tougher lies.
We know you're a little younger and stronger, but it really doesn't matter. You still have a proper club in your bag to be able to get the ball out of the rough, And once again, like Jake had mentioned, you know what? If I got to take a 9-iron instead of a hybrid or a 3-wood or 5-wood, you know what? I'm going to get it out or I can get it out in the fairway, and I can get that ball on the green and get up and down, maybe make a good par or bogey.
And Joe, you're 100% right. That's where that course management comes into play, right? Something that we always talk about, you hear about on TV, is that course management, playing the golf course. You know, so when you're in these situations, we can't compound the issue. You know, we have to take what's in front of us and what's given to us and try to execute it to the best of our ability.
No, very cool. No, thanks, Jake.
Thanks, buddy.
No, it was very good. Excellent. Thank you.